People told me this mission was impossible. They said one person could never stand against the slow decline of an entire planet. But everywhere I looked, I saw the same warning. Fewer trees, hotter streets, drier soil, and a future becoming harder to ignore. The ground beneath our feet can look strong and permanent, but without trees, it begins to lose its life. Moisture disappears, the soil cracks open, wind carries the remaining fertile earth away. What once supported life slowly becomes a place where almost nothing can survive. Then, the storm arrived. The wind tried to tear this small tree from my hands before its roots had even touched the ground. At that moment, the sapling was more than a plant. It was a fragile piece of the future. If I let go, the desert would win. If I held on, there was still a chance. Every breath we take is connected to a silent living system. Trees absorb carbon dioxide, cool the air, hold water in the soil, protect wildlife, and help regulate the climate around us. Yet modern cities continue to expand under concrete, while forests disappear beyond their borders. We can build powerful machines and travel farther than ever before, but no technology can replace a healthy forest. That is why I came here, not to perform a miracle, not to claim that one tree could repair the entire world. I came to prove that restoration always begins with one deliberate action, one person, one piece of land, and one living tree. The journey across this valley was exhausting. Every step carried me farther from comfort and closer to the place where this tree would face its greatest test. There was no shade, no nearby water, or no guarantee that the soil would accept new life. But turning back would change nothing. After searching carefully, I chose a small patch of ground. It did not look promising. The earth was dry, compacted, and almost as hard as stone. Still, this would become the beginning. Before a tree can rise toward the sky, someone must first prepare a place for its roots. The first strike barely entered the ground. The shovel bounced back as if it had hit concrete. Again and again, the soil resisted. Every impact sent dust into the air and pain through my hands. This was no longer ordinary gardening. It had become a struggle to reclaim a tiny space for life. The shovel could no longer do enough. I used my hands. I pulled out stones, broke apart compacted soil, and slowly widened the hole. The work was painful, but roots cannot survive inside sealed earth. They need space, they need air, and they need someone willing to keep digging when the ground refuses to open. At last, the hole was ready. I lifted the sapling carefully, protecting the trunk and the fragile root ball. This was the most delicate moment. Too deep, and the roots could suffocate. Too shallow, and the tree could dry out or fall. I lowered it into the center, straightened the trunk, and returned the soil gently around its roots. The tree was finally standing, but planting it was only the beginning. I poured the last of my stored water around the root zone. For a moment, the soil darkened, then the water vanished almost immediately. The heat above the valley was pulling moisture away faster than the young roots could absorb it. The leaves began to droop. Their green edges slowly turned yellow. The water container was empty, and there was no second supply waiting nearby. I had brought this tree across the barren valley, dug through the hardest ground, and planted it with my own hands. Now I was watching it weaken before my eyes. not save it. I touched the soil and felt how quickly the heat had returned. The tree did not need another impossible promise. It needed protection from the sun. So I looked around the valley for anything the land itself could provide. Flat stones were scattered across the ground. Dry branches and fallen leaves rested nearby. They looked useless at first, but simple natural materials can become powerful tools when we understand how the environment works. I carried the stones back and arranged them carefully around the root zone. The ring would reduce direct exposure and help slow the loss of moisture. Next, I covered the exposed soil with dry natural material. This protective layer would shield the ground from the strongest sunlight and reduce evaporation. I kept it away from the trunk, allowing air to move freely around the base. Nothing here was advanced. No machine, no expensive technology, only observation, patience, and respect for the way nature protects itself. The afternoon slowly faded. The sunlight became softer, and the protected soil began holding what little moisture remained. For a long time, nothing seemed to change. Then the leaves moved. Slowly, they began to lift. The tree was not growing magically. It was simply recovering because the conditions around its roots had improved. It stood upright again. Against the heat, against the dry soil, against every reason it should have failed. Watching those leaves rise brought a feeling I will never forget. This tiny tree had survived its first day, and in its survival, it carried a message much larger than itself. One person cannot restore an entire planet alone, but one person can begin. One tree can shade the ground. One root system can hold the soil. One living example can inspire another person to act. We do not need to wait for perfect conditions. We need to protect what is living, restore what has been damaged, and begin wherever we are. One tree is now standing in this valley, but the journey is far from over. There are hundreds more waiting to be planted, and beyond the horizon, another danger is already forming. A powerful storm is moving toward this land. The next question is no longer whether this tree can survive the heat. It is whether it can survive the flood. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, turn on notifications, and share this video to spread the green message. See you in the next exciting challenges. Thank you so much. Every tree begins with one small act of care, and every story begins with someone who refuses to give up.